I will conclude my lecture on noumena and phenomena, and the class may be slightly longer but not beyond 90 minutes. This is the concluding lecture on noumena, that is truth. And truth is reality plus possibilities. Reality means empirical reality, which we find in the field. And possibilities are structural possibilities, and at surface structure, the respondent may not be aware about that or those possibilities. Marx has two examples which may be considered partly representative of this debate. When Marx says there are two types of classes, in society, one is class in itself, and the second is class for itself. Now the first, class in itself, is empirical reality, but class for itself is a theoretical possibility. In the same way, capitalist mode of production, distribution and consumption is empirical reality, but post-capitalist mode of production, distribution and consumption is a theoretical possibility. This is in Karl Marx. Therefore, Weber and Marx cannot be theoretically compared, because Weber is operating with phenomena, whereas Marx is trying to understand and transform noumena. In the same way, gender inequality is in any society in contemporary times an empirical reality. Gender inequality is an empirical reality, but gender equality is a theoretical possibility. In the same way, theoretical superiority of modern West is an empirical reality, but theoretical equality or scientific equality is a theoretical possibility. For example, empirically, China is an economic superpower. This is an empirical reality. But China can be a scientific power as well. It is a theoretical possibility. Now, let us try to compare and contrast China on the one hand and the United States of America on the other. This is true that even today, in 2021, United States of America is a military superpower and even Chinese and Russians and Iranians, the three major opponents of United States today, accept this fact that in the terms of military superiority, United States and its military alliance called NATO, N for North, A for Atlantic, T for Treaty, O for Organization. This is one empirical fact which cannot be disputed. That economically, China is rising and the United States of America is declining as economic power. Now, what is the evidence? What is the proof to validate this theoretical claim? The most recent is withdrawal of troops by the NATO countries, primarily United States of America, from Afghanistan. Why America is withdrawing? Because it is not in a position to economically sustain the cost of military intervention in Afghanistan anymore. And who is taking the role of United States today? China. And the United States is not opposing it. United States opposes China in terms of human rights violation. United States and other countries are, criticizing China for its aggressive intervention in South China Sea. But nobody is opposing intervention of China in Afghanistan today. This is empirical validation of the theoretical assertion that United States is a declining superpower in economic terms. Now, many people are curious to know why China withstood the American onslaught after the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 or disintegration of the Soviet Union in 1991. In other words, USSR and People's Republic of China both were socialist countries until 1989. But in 1991, Soviet Union collapsed, disintegrated into 21 sovereign nation states, whereas China became a roaring tiger in global market. Now, what was common between both countries? Marxist socialism or scientific socialism. And people said that this is the Cold War. What was the Cold War? Very fierce competition between the capitalist countries under the leadership of United States of America and United Kingdom. And then there was another bloc, the Second World. The First World was dominated by liberal capitalism, and it was led by United States of America and United Kingdom. The Second World was a socialist bloc, a Marxist bloc, led by USSR and People's Republic of China. And sociologists thought that they are doing very good theoretical work. But then the mightiest of the Soviet, the mightiest of the socialist bloc, that is USSR, disintegrated. Whereas People's Republic of China is intact and it is increasing its power by colonizing Africa, Latin America, Australia, and much of Asia. People suspect in the coming 30 years, European countries and United States may become the colony of People's Republic of China. The question is, why China could not disintegrate and USSR disintegrated? The reason is civilizational. Even before Europe became one modern civilization in 18th century, China was already a major civilization until 18th century. Therefore, China is an old civilization like India, Japan, to some extent, Egypt and Rome and Greece and Iraq. But what is the major distinction between these older civilizations? Like China and India on the one hand, and older civilization like Egypt, Greece, and Rome on the other. Egypt was the first older civilization which was broken in a space and time by the triumphant Islam of Arabia. Before the Arabs invaded Egypt, from European perspective, early medieval period, around 8th century or 9th century, late 8th century, early 9th century, Egypt was a pagan civilization, Pagan. Before Rome was transformed in late 4th century from pagan to Christian. In Europe, the Dark Age began. This is not my terminology. You read any standard history of the world, they will write that before modernity came in, there was a long dark age from 4th century AD to 13th century AD. Now, what is dark age for Europe? What is dark age for Europe from 4th century AD to 13th century AD is from the same yardstick, from the same criteria, a golden age for China, India, Tibet, Mongolia, Persia, that is Iran today, and Latin America. Therefore, the term dark age is not universal category of social science. The dark age is the dark age of Europe. This is not the dark age of Asia, Latin America, majority of Africa, Australia, and even North America. Therefore, from phenomenal point of view, from Weberian perspective, phenomenal point of view, modernity is coterminous with the birth, spread, and systematization of industrial civilization, but for other continents, for other civilizations, this is a period of exploitation, turmoil, war, unethical war, which can be called the barbarian side of European civilization. Therefore, Andre Gunder Frank, I had referred to his book when I was teaching sociological thinkers. I had suggested his book Reorient. There is another book, Reorienting the 19th Century. In case you read these two books by one author, Andre Gunder Frank, there are several equally important authors and their books, but due to paucity of time, I am referring to one. It can answer your question why China could not disintegrate, because it was a very developed, very powerful, very wealthy civilization for more than 5,000 years, whereas modernity is not even 500 years old. And the supremacy of modern West is not civilizational superiority, rather it is superiority in military technology only. As a result, unlike European socialism, including the Russian socialism, the Chinese socialism is very, very different. What is different in China? China is still a pagan civilization who are considered non-pagans. The Jews, the Christians and the Muslims, they are insignificant minority in China today. Even in 2021, the Semitic religious communities of Jews, Christians and Muslims are not only in the minority, they are insignificant minority. As a result, China had accepted European Marxism in the same way in which India had embraced British modernity during the colonial period. Are you getting the point? Outside Asia, wherever Christianity and Islam went, it destroyed the past social structure of pagan civilization. But in India and China, European modernity or Christian modernity or Protestant modernity or Calvinist modernity could not destroy the Indian or the Chinese social structure. It could not destroy the earlier existing civilizational framework. Then what happened? There was not a process of a structural transformation of culture. Rather, there was accretion of Western elements, modern elements. There was accommodation of selective accommodation of modern elements of Marxism in China and liberal democracy in India. Are you getting the point? Therefore, Marxist modernity in China and colonial modernity of Britain in India is like pickle or salad or papad. But the main course and starters of Indian culture remained the same. Are you getting my point? In other countries, for example in Africa, in Northern America, in other banana republics of Asia like Singapore, Malaysia, there is no traditional culture which is found in narrative continuity. What is narrative continuity? Narrative continuity is like a garland. Has anybody got garland or gold chain in your neck? Nobody? I have. This is the middle path. I have two garlands. One from my father's side, the other from my mother's side. And the two are equivalent to the middle path of Buddhism. This is feminine garland and this is masculine garland. This is called Rudraksh and this is called Sphatik. This is narrative continuity. This is not vertical. This can be a triangle, but this can be also a circle. This is a circle now. Now, what is the difference between an Angvastram, which the South Indians wear, and a pant, or the Muslim pajama? What is the structural difference between the Angvastram or sari on the one hand and Western pant for women or men on the other, or the Muslim salwar kameez or pajama? I am not talking about the content, I am talking about the structure. The pant of Ria is fitted to her anatomy, which cannot be used by Deepti or Preeti or Sophia, because their physical anatomy may be different. And all pants are neatly fitted into your body, your size of the body. But the same sari can be used by Ria, Preeti, Sophia and Dipti. In the same way, the dhoti or angvastram is not fitted into the size of one body. Dinesh and I both can wear the same dhoti or angvastram. And in certain tribal cultures, even women wear angvastram, the male type dhoti, and then they have upper garment. What is the basic cultural difference between two dress codes? The Western dress code is very, very individualistic. Now, there is another process which goes on in the Western dress, fashion. Suppose you have got a new dress, somebody gifted you on your birthday. What will you do of your dress after 2-3 years? It becomes useless. Earlier, in your mother's generation, it was not useless, because there was a retailer called a tailor. Now, this profession of tailoring is declining or had already declined. This is the age of ready-made dress. In the old structure of your mother's generation, the same dress is given to your younger brother and younger sister. In case it doesn't fit in, the tailor is called, or women know how to sew it by needle instead of the tailoring machine. Therefore, in traditional culture, the same product is reused again and again. Are you getting the point? In joint families, I have seen in my field work that, there are 7 or 8 brothers and they are all married. And when a new baby is born in the family, the baby is not given a new dress. The dress of their older siblings is used. Have you seen this? Or not seen this? Therefore, the traditional culture had no concept of waste. Everything is used, including the kitchen garbage. The kitchen garbage, because in tradition there is no plastic, no polythene. Your garbage is transformed into manures. and it is sold in the market or given in the gift of reciprocal chain. What is reciprocity in gift? I give gift on your birthday. And there is a rule to receive the gift. Suppose I offer you a gift, you cannot refuse it on your birthday. My example is not good because I am older. I am just joking. Do not take it otherwise. Suppose today there is birthday of Preeti, and Dinesh and Jackie-san and Ashish give a flower to you. You will not mind, you will accept it. But in case it is not a birthday, then you do not receive a flower from the other gender because it has other cultural connotation. Are you getting the point? On a birthday or marriage anniversary, everybody has a right to give gift to you, and you cannot refuse. In case you refuse, your reputation will be painted in a particular color called black. But then, since the giver of the gift is not your relative, not your kinsman, not your friend, what do? You give a return gift. But you do not give the return gift to your relatives. In case you are giving a return gift, it means, in your opinion, the person was not entitled to give gift. But it is out of courtesy that you are receiving the gift. But then, when they are going out from the party, you give a return gift. This is called direct exchange by Claude Lévi-Strauss. In the beginning of the party, you give a gift, and at the end of the party, you receive a gift. This is called direct exchange. This does not produce durable relationships. Then he talks about another type of exchange of gift, that is indirect. Indirect exchange of gift. For example, I am your teacher and I am giving you gift of knowledge, but I am not taking anything from you. Do you pay me? You do not pay. But how do I survive if I do not charge a fee from you? The government of India gives us a dakshina. A teacher is not given a salary. A teacher is given a dakshina. A beggar is given bheek. A sister is given daan. A servant is given majduri or salary. Are you getting the point? In the same way, suppose I give you a gold ring. then how do you return this to me? In indirect exchange. You just say thank you. And you keep my ring with you. And when my children are married off or my grandchildren are married off, you return that gift. Are you getting my point? This is called a generalized gift. It is not direct. I give it to you and you give it to my child or my grandchild or my young student. You are older students. You are in second semester or whatever. Suppose I teach you, then you do not teach me. In case you do not teach me and you do not give a fee to me, then you are in debt. You are in debt. कर्जा चढ़ेगा तुम्हारे ऊपर. Then how do you repay the debt? You teach the first semester students, or you teach somebody who is aspiring to be a JNU student, and then you are returning my gift and you are debt free. In case you find it interesting, I recommend you a book, The Gift by Marshall Moss. But you know that the example I was giving is from Elementary Structures of Kinship by Claude Lévi-Strauss. Now I am giving one more example. And then this lecture is complete. So far I have given you empirical example, which you can verify. But in science, which is sociology, empirical example is not sufficient. Why? Suppose I say, this is a crow, this crow is black, therefore all crows are black. This is empirical statement based on my experience of watching crow every day. According to Karl Popper, it is not a scientific proposition. Why? Because it cannot be falsified. Can you falsify this? No, you cannot. Then one person whose name is T.S. Kuhn, he said, yes, I can falsify. You are saying, this crow is black, This is a crow, this crow is black, therefore all crows are black. I can falsify it in case I bring a white crow. Actually, I have reversed it deliberately because it works both ways. Are you getting my point or not getting my point? Actually, this is Popper. The first proposition is given by T.S. Kuhn. And the objection is raised by Karl Popper. Suppose I bring a white crow. Will you change your definition of crow, that crows are black birds? T.S. Kuhn said, yes, I will change, provided you prove this is a crow. You have brought a white crow, I will refuse to recognize it as a crow because I have not seen any white crow. Then Popper said, then it is not science, this is superstition, this is a belief system, this is phenomenology. And Kuhn said, yes, this is phenomenology. Because all definitions in modern science are conventional. All theories in science are conventional. All paradigms in science are conventional. These are not products of experiments in the laboratory or verification, empirical verification in the field. Got it or not got it? It is very difficult in the books. I am trying to make it very, very simple in your everyday language. Thomas Kuhn said, the definition of anything in science is determined by the scientific community. In case you bring a white crow, the scientific community will not recognize it as a crow. It will say, it is a bird, fine. It is white, this is fine. But this is not a crow, it can be some other bird which is not found in my empirical area. Therefore, Weber is wrong when he says that there is a sharp methodological difference between the natural sciences and the social sciences. Both the natural scientists as well as the social scientists both study phenomena, they do not study noumena. Now, I was born in a village and I consider myself a villager even today. My wife is a botanist. I am a sociologist. She said, no, you are not a villager. How many times you have visited your village? How many years you have lived in your village? I said, why should I live in my village or why should I visit my village? My village is inside me. My village is inseparable from my personality. I take my village everywhere I go. This is organic solidarity of Immanuel Durkheim. In the division of labor in society, Durkheim said, in mechanical solidarity, individuals live within society, but in organic solidarity, society lives within the individual. What does it mean? In mechanical solidarity, society is empirically verifiable. But in organic solidarity, the society is internalized within the personality of the individual as social norms, as morals, as values. Are you getting my point? I do not teach in English. I teach in sociology. I teach sociology in sociological language. I practice sociology in my daily life, in my everyday life. Sociology is not a subject for me. I am sociology. I am an incarnation of sociology as a human being. I have internalized sociology within my personality. This is not my original statement. I have borrowed it from Louis Dumont's book, The Homo Hierarchicus. Louis Dumont said that everybody who is a citizen of Indian nation state need not be called an Indian in cultural terms. You are a representative or a datum of Indian culture only when you represent Indian culture in totality. Just by your birth, you may get citizenship. But to be an Indian, to be a practicing Indian, you need not be born in India. You need not be living in India. Therefore, there are many Indians in Europe and America in the global village today. They are called members of Indian diaspora. But there are also Indians whose ancestors were not Indians. To be a member of the diaspora, your ancestors must be Indian, if you are not born in India. Therefore, legal terms have different connotation. Legal terms may be relevant for political sociology, for the nation state, for democratic discourse, for citizenship. For culture, a cultural definition is needed. For culture, a cultural definition is needed. And I am giving you the last example of this class. Who are you? Are you an individual or not? Ashish, Dinesh, are you an individual? I'm not listening your voice. Jackson, are you an individual? Dipti, are you an individual? Sophia, Preeti, Ria, according to Louis Dumont, there is no individual in India. Then what you are? You are a person. You are not an individual. Individuals are found only in modern Western Europe. They are not found even in Eastern Europe. To be an individual, you must be selfish, consumerist, hedonist. Your saving rate should be less and your expenditure rate should be very, very high. In India, there is no individual. Everybody is a individual. You are divided between Delhi and Manipur. You are divided as children, as sisters, as brothers, as students, as teachers. Why? Because in Indian culture, duty is more important than right. And in modern West, right is more important and duty does not exist. They call themselves rightists because they have only rights. They have no duty towards anybody except themselves. Therefore, in India, there is no rightist. I will not say everybody is a leftist, but why should there be a rightist in case I am not a leftist? Are you getting the point? Therefore, unless and until you are able to relate with your course as a person, this course is useless. because it is not relevant to my life. It is neither giving pleasure nor giving pain. It is neither giving success nor giving failure. It is neither making me happy nor sorry. It is just a routine thing. I am enrolled. I have to get a grade and get a degree. That's it. R.P. Dorr has called it diploma disease and degree disease. Most colonized countries or most neo-modern countries suffer from diploma disease. And it gives rise to a sick society, a sick culture, and sick civilization. In case you want to read about it, I have prescribed a book as core reading, Sickness of Civilization and Destiny of Civilization by Radha Kamal Mukherjee. From next week, I will introduce you to civilizational perspective, also known as Indic perspective, and the authors who are represented in your syllabus are Anand Kentis Kumar Swami and Radha Kamal Mukherjee. The e-book had been shared to you. In case you start reading any of the books listed in the course outline, you will enjoy the lectures more. But I am recording my lectures, and first lecture had been uploaded on the WhatsApp group. Other lectures will be also uploaded one by one. And then, in case you do feel the need of tutorials, we can discuss. Thank you.